We'll call to order the Board of Zoning Appeals. Will you please stand for the pledge? We've recognized veterans this week, and we'll ask one of our veterans, Joe Crowell, to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Call roll, please.
Gary Farley,
Here.
Joe Crow,
Here.
Jerry Sartain,
Here.
Joe Machado,
Here.
Michael Rather,
Here.
Jared Barrett,
Here.
Dane Cantrell.
Present.
We do have a quorum, sir, and all voting members are present.
Okay. You have the minutes of the last meeting before you. Are there any changes or additions to the minutes?
I move for approval.
Have a motion that be approved. We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Before we get started on our main business, I would like to ask Keith Bratcher to step forward to the podium. Keith has been a longtime member of the Board of Zoning and Appeals, has done an outstanding job, and has a lot of integrity about him. And we're pleased, Keith, to present you with this token of achievement for the years that you've served on the Board of Zoning and Appeals from 2005 to 2014. We thank you, and we appreciate the good work that you have done for the county. And this is on behalf of the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Planning Department. We thank you for that service.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I appreciate this. I just want to say, I had said before, I just want to thank the County Commission for allowing me to serve the 9 years I served on the Board of Zoning. I'd like to thank our chairman and all the board members that I serve with. I appreciate your friendship, and I'm still involved in stuff in the county, so I'm sure I'll see y'all around sometime. So thank you very much. All right.
Thank you, Keith. I also would like to recognize Gary Farley, who is a new member to the Board of Zoning Appeals, and we're looking forward to your guidance here. Gary is a longtime member of the County Commission, serving 20 years, and I know he's going to do a great job and give us a lot of guidance. So, Gary, we welcome you to the Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay, the first item we have on our agenda is a request by William Kennedy, and this is for a group child care home. And what do you have on that, please?
Thank you. Application BZA 2014-63 involves the property located at 102 Manon Court. The applicant, William Kennedy, is seeking special exception approval for the establishment of a group child care home upon the property located in the RM zone. That's medium density residential. The site's 0.94 acres, and the applicant is proposing to establish a group child care facility that would provide child care services for children's ages 3 to 5 on Monday through Friday, 7 to 6 p.m. And the applicant also indicates that all children would be required to arrive at the center by 9 a.m. Under our zoning ordinance, you can keep up to 4 children in your home as a home-based child care without having to go before the Board of Zoning Appeals. Any number between 5 and 12, you would come for the special exception, and this is what the applicant is doing here. If they were to expand, they would require, it would need to be rezoned, the property. The applicant proposes to convert the existing garage into the preschool area. They will add a bathroom in this area, as well as a fenced area in the back of the property to provide a secure play area. The applicant is also proposing, and you will see in a later graphic, to add a driveway to the existing driveway that would enable parents dropping off and picking up children to pull in and pull out without having to back out into the street. Now, staff has received 4 informational calls with questions, but no one indicated that they were in favor or against the application. We posted a sign on the property. They have a large front yard and kind of a short backyard, but you will see these are large home sites for subdivision. This is the Prairie View side. You will see this is the side of the existing home that the child care will be located, and the yard area that will have some fencing erected to provide a play area. This is the garage and driveway, and just some other shots, the front view. And you can see in this graphic we've added, according to what the applicant supplied, kind of they're going to create like a loop driveway, and this will be where the fencing is proposed. And that concludes our presentation.
Mr. Kennedy, would you step forward to the podium, please? If you'll give us your name and any additional information you might want to share with the board, and there may be some questions.
William Charles Kennedy, Jr., live at 102 Manning Court. I apologize for my uniform. I report to duty at 5 p.m., don't have time to change and go home, so apologize for that. This is a child daycare, not a group home or for teenagers or for anything like that. My wife, Melissa, and I, her degree is in early childhood. My undergraduate degree is in education. My master's degree in public service management. We're wanting to start our own in-home daycare at our residence, 102 Manning Court. Any questions you might have, or any questions the audience might have in reference to this?
Questions? Joe?
It says you're only going to have one employee.
My wife.
I guess, I mean, beside your wife, or?
Her daughter you have to have a substitute, okay? By statute under DHS, you must have a substitute. Her daughter, Brittany, would be our substitute employee.
So you're saying if you get up to 12 people, there's only going to be one person there?
By statute, you have one person for every 12 children.
So you're not going to have any, but what parking? I see you're going to do a driveway, okay? And I guess how many cars do you think would be able to accumulate letting children off?
Well, we will stagger our times between 7 and 9 o'clock for those arrivals. And by statute, you can't back up into a street for a daycare. So you must have a loop around or something similar to that. And so what we would do is loop them out and stagger the times in which they come so that there wouldn't be more than 2 or 3 cars on the lot at one time.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Kennedy. You may be seated. We'll open this now for a public hearing for anyone who would like to speak on this request. If you'll come to the podium.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Bob Fritzepper, ITZ. My bride and I reside at 121 Prairie View Drive, which is directly across the street from from Mr. Kennedy's house and the driveway. Our problem with the approval, if approval is made for this situation, is the fact that in this subdivision, most of us have either built or bought homes in this subdivision because of the subdivision that it is, meaning it's a quiet subdivision. It has restrictions, restricting it from commercial and so forth. It's an area where we wanted to live, and where we figured we would finish our days in this subdivision. Now, this subdivision, the streets are not made as they are with the new subdivision with curbs, sidewalks, and so forth. The streets in the subdivision are fairly narrow. You can pass two cars, or you can pass a school bus and a car. But if there's a car on the side of the road, you can't pass. It creates a bottleneck. Let's say that this daycare has 12 children. That means that there's going to probably be at least 12 vehicles picking up and dropping off students. Although they be staggered, even if it's 5 minutes apart, that's an hour that somebody's going to have to wait to get in to pick up their child. I guarantee you people are going to park along the side of the street waiting to get in to pick up their child or to drop off their child. Again, as I say, these streets, they weren't meant for that. So I have a problem with that. I also have the problem with, again, when we bought into this subdivision, we bought into the subdivision as a residential subdivision. We didn't know that there were going to be extra children with the extra noise, the trash, and so forth that happens in situations like this, no matter how well it's policed. One person for 12 children, I wonder how well it's going to be policed. I also have an undergraduate degree in education, so I'm familiar with children too, as is Mr. Kennedy. So all in all, with the restrictions that we were told exist in the subdivision, when we bought in the subdivision, it was built out. It wasn't as though they were continuing to build. It was already built out. Everything was built up. We knew what the subdivision was going to be. Now this request is anti anything that we had any idea was going to happen. If you open it up for daycare, what's the request for the next establishment that's going to be built in the neighborhood? That's all I have. I thank you for your time.
I got a question.
Yes.
Sir, are you on city sewer or septic system?
Septic system.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? If those of you who'd like to speak, if you'll come to this side here, and we can move this on a little quicker. Give us your name and your...
Don Robinson, 208 Tenby Drive, which is not directly behind them, but one over behind them. And we've got the same reasons that Bob had as far as noise and traffic. As he pointed out, there's not a whole lot of room on those roads. And basically, there's only one entrance to the subdivision. There's another one further down, but it would be a roundabout way. But my reasoning is that according to the covenants, lot usage, number 1 of the covenants, no lot may be used for any purpose except for the construction and maintenance of a residential building, and no such residential structure or any such lot shall be designed, constructed, or used for more than one family. To me, that's saying there's no commercial use, which it would be a business. And that's the only thing I have.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Next.
My name is Dana Bryson. I live at 117 Prairie View Drive. I am the paved driveway directly in front of his entrance driveway.
You're in front of the house there?
Yes.
Okay.
I would first like to say that anyone who provides care for children is carrying out a great and commendable act in our community. However, I don't feel that the property needs to be rezoned for a group child care home. Under the Tennessee Human Services, it is defined as a place that has at least 8 but no more than 12 children. Up to 3 additional school-aged children may receive care before or after school, on school holidays, snow days, and summer vacations. So I have a few concerns. My first concern is, of course, the potential impeding of the driveways. The entrance will be directly in front of my driveway. My husband does leave work right around 7. There is additional drive, which I assume is the exiting, which has been confirmed, is in front of my neighbor's driveway. Now, if you notice that Prairie View continues up and Manning Court goes over, those are both dead ends. So all exiting parents would have to turn left, which I feel will congest the area, especially in the mornings and the afternoons. It is also unclear about the sufficient parking. Right now, they usually have 2 to 3 vehicles in their driveway. Visitors either park in the street or the yard. Of course, with our small streets, that does mean that it's going to be even more congested there, even just with parked cars. Also, the ratio of caregivers to children, depending on their age, actually is different. Underneath standards for group child care homes on the state website, if they have, let's see here, they can have a maximum of 15 again, but if at least one child up to the maximum age of 9, children present are under the age of 3, but no more than 4 present are under the age of 2. There has to be 2 caregivers and, of course, a substitute. Also, it even goes up to 3 if some of them are, more of them are, and of course, younger toddlers. There's also the possibility that they would need more caregivers for physically and mentally challenged children if those were enrolled. So that would, of course, mean that there is going to be not only the blocking of flow, but where are these additional caregivers going to park? Or if they had family visitors, he does have sons, 2 sons, I think, and they may have friends come over in the summer. So I'm thinking lots of parking issues. Also, let's see here. For example, of course, my neighbors have also said that, even if it's staggered, of course, parents go early. I was a car rider at school, so my dad always came 15 minutes early before he was supposed to pick me up, just in case things were running smoother. So I do see that cars will back up in front of my home and also cause, especially in the evening pickup times, multiple cars waiting in line could block residents from getting to their homes, Prairie View and Manning Court, especially if he said that they're going to be closing between 6 p.m. My husband gets home around 6. Sometimes 6:30, depending if 24 is really backed up. So if there's at least 6 cars, let's say if they have 12 parents coming to pick up during the summer, 6 cars in front of my house means that anyone driving this way cannot turn to their home or go to Manning Court, which I find would be really restrictive and congesting.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Have you finished with your comments?
I just have maybe 2 more.
Okay.
I did talk to, let's see here, depending on the fencing, there of course will be more noise or visible, visible children running around if it's a chain link fence or something like that. I feel that that's going to hurt my resale value of my home. I did contact my realtor and he did confirm that by saying, he said that having a daycare like this in your neighborhood, in your subdivision, will make an impact on selling your home, especially since the driveway is so close to your driveway. So my concern is that, if in the future I do resell my home, people are going to come by and see that there is an established business right across the street, and that could hurt then in that case. Also, as the business grows, there could be additional ramps, more parking, more signage. So I feel that it really does hurt the kind of residential feel that we're enjoying in our neighborhood. And I really thank you for the time.
Okay. Joe?
I have a question for you. Do you know how many people live in the Kennedy home?
I believe at least 3, maybe 4.
3, maybe 4.
I'm not that nosy, I apologize.
Thank
I
you.
know that him and his wife do.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you for your comments. Next.
Chairman and members of the board, my name is Wayne Cole. I live at 209 Prairie View Drive. I'm at the end of Prairie View. It's a cul-de-sac. If you, it's straight up, it's just off the map to the left there, and the left side of Prairie View Drive. I say we, my wife and I, we moved there about 2 years ago this month, and one of the reasons being that we wanted a place. It's a 2-acre lot, and we wanted a little space, and we wanted a little peace and quiet in our old age, and so far we've had that. I do not know, and it would be seen to what extent the noise level would be, but what has already been said for is the streets, and it is a dead-end street there, one way in and one way out. And the I don't, for as the children, I know I can't remember how many he said now that would be there, but my concern again would be the traffic, the noise, and it is a subdivision, and when we bought there, then that's what we thought it was going to be. There's not been any other building going on, I mean, for as houses since we moved in there. And for as I know, there's no lots left to build on. And other than that.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Wait just a minute.
I have a question because I keep hearing about the noise. So I want a clarification. Are we talking about the noise of children playing, or are you talking about traffic noise?
Well, I think more so both in your answer, question, but I would think children outside. Naturally, I'm not against children, and I love my 2 kids and my grandkids, and I know they can get noisy and inside or out. But one thing, well, I know you don't want me to go on about, it's good to see them come, but it's good to, after a period of time, it's good to see them go. I love them dearly, and as more than most, I guess. But
I think the children playing would be more noise than you would say your next door neighbor cutting his grass.
Honestly, unless I'm outside, I don't know when he's cutting the grass or if I see him through the window is the only thing on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. Next. Anyone else, if you want to speak, come to this side, please.
Hi, my name is Melissa Kennedy. I would be the one that would be running the preschool. I have been a director and an assistant director at several facilities. As far as the ratio goes with children, for ages 3 to 5, there is only one child care provider that is required. It would be a state licensed facility, so we would have to abide by all state licensing rules and procedures. As far as the parking goes, our hours of operation does not mean that children would be there from the beginning to the end. Parents get off at different times throughout the day, so I wouldn't expect there to always be that many people coming at one time and that many people leaving at one time. So I do understand everyone's concern for congestion. We're going to try to limit that as much as possible with the staggering of drop-offs. We wouldn't, by no means, start off with 12 children. It would be a gradual progression as we enroll kids. And the outside playtime is limited to 1 hour per day, so we could break it up to 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the afternoon. So that would help with the noise that people are concerned with. And with having privacy fencing around, that would be a buffer for noise, just like how when highways are constructed, there's walls that are built up around residential areas to help with noise. We wanted to provide a type of facility that some parents are more comfortable with. With me working in an in-home before and in facilities, some people are more apt to feeling comfortable with their children being in an in-home setting. With that type of setting, I would be able to work directly with children more on a close basis. I'm also able to pick and choose who I allow into my facility as well. I would not discriminate. However, we're not equipped to be a special needs center. That's not what we're aiming to do, or to have what I believe some of our neighbors were confused with. It's not a foster care home as well. And it would be Monday through Friday. We feel like we could offer service to the people that work at Amazon that get off at different shifts. There's just not any in-homes in that area as far as out Manchester Highway area. So that was our plan. We don't want to do anything to make the neighborhood bad. If anything, we would be building onto the property and make it nicer looking than what it is because of the things that we plan on doing. And we wouldn't be putting up any additional buildings. The playground area would be in the back where it's wooded, so it's not like it's going to be a bunch of plastic stuff. We would use nice wooden play materials in the back to make it more appealing to the eye. We don't want anything junked up looking.
We have a few questions. Joe Machado.
Yes, ma'am. I guess, do you have any potential clientele coming in from your neighborhood?
No, we haven't done any type of advertising
You don't really
or
know
anything
where
like that.
you don't really know where your clientele's coming from. The other question, I guess my wife raised our children mainly, but I've been around children. I have a real difficulty trying to figure out how one person's going to watch up to 12 children. Could you explain something to me about that?
Sure. Like with infants, it's one teacher to 4 infants. There's different ratios for different age children. We're talking about 3, 4, and 5-year-olds who 98% of them are already potty trained. You know, they can follow commands. We would be in one room. The garage would be converted as a preschool. I already have a sketch as how I would have the layout in there. So there's nowhere for them to go except in the area that's going to be the preschool room. As far as going out to the play area, it's all fenced in. I mean...
Yeah, but I guess what I have trouble with is if you've got some outside playing and some inside.
That's not allowed.
That's not allowed?
No, sir.
Okay.
I got a question. These 3 people already live in your house, and you're on a septic system. You're going to add 15 more people to the septic system, 12 more people to the septic system, I mean.
Abide by what's required.
Thank you.
Gary.
Ms. Kennedy, per the DHS, Department of Human Services, which is what regulates daycares, what is the ratios? You said a while ago 3 to 5, there's 1. If you get up to 12, what would be the ratio for the total of 12 as far as employees?
1 caregiver. You can have 12 of that age group, anywhere between 3 and 5. I wouldn't accept any children younger than that because that requires special rules, different things I would have to have in my preschool room as far as for diapering and different things like that.
I just want to make sure I understood. I thought there may be some questions concerning that. So for every 12 kids
Within the age group.
between 3 and 5 years of age, there's 1 person.
Right, yes.
That's state?
Yes, sir.
Jerry.
No one's actually asked it, but I'm assuming, based on what you're telling me, you folks are still going to live in this home. Okay.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Well, you can understand how it would be a lot different if this was going to be a daycare and the folks that run it were not actually living there. So you are planning on living there.
Yes, that's why we're just putting it in one section of our home. We will have our living
Clarification.
space, and then we would have our preschool area.
Thank you. May be seated. Next.
My name is Sissy Cole, and my husband out there, we live in the cul-de-sac, 209 Prairie View, and my concern is the traffic's not going to bother us because we're right there on the cul-de-sac, but the Kennedys do, and I have noticed, seems like always has cars on that road parked there. And there was one that they mowed the grass around for months and months. And I kept telling my husband, when are they going to move that car? Because they would, they would just be mowing the grass around. The car was, there by the road. And I thought they weren't ever going to move it. It's not there in that picture, but they do have more cars than what we have when we have a lot more room. And I don't know what the state laws are about the ratio of children or whatever, but if they were to keep the older children before and after school or whatever, I don't know if that would make any difference or whatever. But my concern, it may not have anything to do with this, but if I had one person, if I was one person and I was taking care of 12 children, and say one of them got really bad hurt or something happened to one or had a seizure or something happened, who's going to watch those other children while either she takes them to the hospital or somebody else, somebody's going to have to, that's not any of it, that's the state, and if that's what they say, but it just seems kind of dangerous to me that there would not be more people taking care of that many children. But thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Barb Jassick. I live at 201 Prairie View, about 2 houses maybe down from them. My main concerns, and everybody has spoken about the traffic, would be the traffic. When we go to work in the morning, trying to get out of Fieldstone onto Manchester, now that they've put Joe B. Jackson and the middle school, there is a long wait to get out of the subdivision in the morning. I don't know about everybody else, but I usually wait 10 minutes or so to get out. And to me, one of my concerns would be that would just magnify the problem with 10 more cars or whatever. And I know that they're trying to stagger it, but most people go to work about the same time and come home about the same time. And the other thing, again, having to do with traffic and the way the roads are constructed there, my daughter and her family lives in the same subdivision, and my granddaughter rides her bike over, and it just is concerning to me to have more traffic than just the residents. That's all.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Next.
Jim Jarvis, my name, live at 115 Manning Court. That's on the dead-end circle of the road that they're going to put their driveway out on. But speaking of the traffic and the jam of the roads, when you turn in Fieldstone off Manchester Highway, there's always cars parked there. You're going to have to stop or you're going to have to hit them, if someone else is coming. And people leave their trash cans out, and so I wonder you don't knock their trash cans down. It's not the people, it's the company that picks the trash up that leaves it out on the road, But the lady was right, it's hard to get out there in the mornings to pull on the Manchester Highway. But I think Mr. and Mrs. Kennedy should be like most other business person. If you want a business, you need to rent your space and have a business. not in your home. I mean, there's a lot of home businesses, but not a daycare, you know. That's just my feelings that I have on it. And it may hurt property value. It could increase property value. Most likely hurt it.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments. Anyone else?
My name's Linda Fritz, and I live at 121 Prairie View Drive. Our house would be directly across from the new driveway that they plan to build there. Now, there is quite a bit of traffic at the Kennedy home. I have to be careful several times when backing out of my driveway, as there's usually a car parked across the street. So I have to be careful backing out that I don't hit their car. One other thing I'm a little concerned about is there is a bus that comes down Prairie View Drive twice a day. And it is not, as other people have said, it is not a wide road. If there are cars parked along there, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for the county school bus to come through there. The county bus comes down Prairie View. The school children wait right there at the corner of Manning Court and Prairie View Drive. If there's more traffic, there's more of a chance of an accident. The bus pulls up, backs onto Manning Court, picks up the children, and then they have to come back down through Prairie View Drive, past all of this traffic that is going to be parked along that road. So it will make more difficulty for the Rutherford County School Bus to get through there twice a day. Any questions?
Thank you. We appreciate your comments. Anyone else? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. We'll open this for discussion. Go ahead, Joe.
I don't have a discussion. I'm prepared to make a motion.
Go ahead.
I think this would disrupt the neighborhood. 12 kids would, and I make a motion to deny the request on those grounds.
Do we have a second? Your motion just died for lack of a second. Do we have another motion? Gary?
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
All right. Some of the things I've heard, parking, traffic, noise. One comment was about the covenants in the subdivision. We don't really enforce covenants of subdivisions, best my knowledge. So
that's correct.
That would be left up to the people that live in that subdivision. The state, as far as cars being parked on the streets, there's a state law that law enforcement can actually, if those are being parked there, they can actually be removed, ticketed, or towed, or whatever way I understand that. I guess my question is, parking, traffic, being the first day here on the committee, parking, traffic, and noise. I guess it would be to our legal counsel or Danielle. Are those three items something that would be, and I think we have to consider undue hardship on something? Are those undue hardships as far as when it comes to?
Let's let our attorney speak to that.
Are you just saying, could you consider those things, or help me understand exactly what your question is?
Are those legitimate reasons?
Well, I can't tell you whether they're legitimate or not. Now, you could consider those items in a request, and those could fall under some of the general requirements, but whether or not they're legitimate in a specific instance, I can't answer that question. But parking and neighborhood issues and noise and things, those can be considered by the board, and those may fall under those general requirements in our zoning resolutions. But as far as them being legitimate or not, in this case, I can't answer that question.
And one other thing, each item that comes before the Board of Zoning Appeals stands on its own. It doesn't matter if someone comes along and wants to have another daycare or another business, home business, what we do here has no effect upon that. And it's not a change of zoning. If they get more than 12, then they have to come back and change the zoning. And another thing, and the requirements that you can put on this, if you decide to approve it, you can approve it for a certain period of time and take a look at it, see if it causes problems out there and make some adjustments. But you guys make the motions, okay? Just to clarify a few things. So we need to give these folks an answer one way or the other.
Mr. Chairman, I would make a motion to approve, but I would have 3 conditions to put on it. And that would be, number 1, there would be no on-street parking by the residents or the customers.
Or the visitors.
Customers, yes, sir. That the daycare permit would only be good if the owners live there, number 2. And 3, that we make it for a 2-year to be revisited.
Okay, and you want the privacy fence, that's a requirement, and the driveway requirement?
Yes, this includes the things that were proposed already. In addition, I would like those 3.
Okay. We have a motion before the floor. Do you
Just a moment, please. Would you repeat that, Jerry, make sure I got everything?
My 3 or yours?
Your 3.
Okay. No on-street parking by the residents or their customers. I don't care if it's Saturday. No on-street parking right there. Okay. The daycare or the special exception use would only be good if the owners live at the residence. Okay. And the second is we would give this a trial for 2 years before it be revisited.
Thank you.
We have a second. We have a second. Any other further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Gary Farley,
Yes.
Joe Crowell,
No.
Joe Machado,
Yes.
Jerry Sartain,
Yes.
Thane Cantrell.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. And the reason I didn't recognize you, we have to have a public hearing. And the public hearing is when we listen to what all you folks have to say. And I don't mean to cut you off, and I'm sorry if you felt that way. But we have rules that we have to go by, legal rules. So that's the way it is. And we did take into consideration all of your thoughts. And we'll take a close look at this. And we're not going to abandon you folks out there. We know Brother Kennedy, and I think he'll do what he says he will do, and he'll do the right thing out there. Joe, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment, especially for the residents. If this is going to have to be watched over by you, we're not going to be able to go out there and critique everything that's going on. So if you see anything that you think is not correct, then you should call the county and let them know.
Any other comments?
Other than to repeat what you said, if they feel like this situation does not conform with their own covenants, then that is between themselves.
That's right. That's a different issue. Anything else? We are adjourned. Thank you.